Have you ever finished an ink drawing that you absolutely loved and then you just completely froze because you wanted to add some watercolor? Well, you're not alone. Most artists, they're really not afraid of watercolor. They're afraid of ruining hours of careful pen work. They think it might smudge or get ruined. But today, I'm going to show you a simple process that takes away that fear forever. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to add watercolor over ink without losing those beautiful lines that you've worked so hard to create. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Aaron, and this channel is all about helping aspiring illustrators become more confident with pen and ink drawing. And over the past several months, we've learned how to shade basic forms, how to use simple hatch marks, and how to make our drawings feel more three-dimensional. Today, we're taking the next step. We're going to bring those drawings to life in this new series that I have, Bringing Your Ink Drawings to Life. And we're going to use watercolor. It's not complicated watercolor. It's not painterly watercolor. Just simple, transparent washes that make your ink drawings look richer, more believable, and more professional. So why does this work? Well, one of the biggest misconceptions beginners have is that watercolor hides mistakes. Actually, watercolor does the opposite. It reveals your drawing even more. That's why strong line work comes first. And if you've been following this channel, you've already been learning the most important part, drawing solid forms. You got to understand light and using simple hatching. Now, watercolor becomes another way to describe light instead of replacing your drawing. Think of it as another layer of value. All right, so let's talk about the supplies you need. Here's all you really need: a waterproof pen. I recommend microns or Copic markers or these really cool Faber Castell pens. They are waterproof and archival ink, which means they're not going to smudge once they're dry. They're very solid pens and they're going to last you a long time. I recommend watercolor paper, 300 GSM or 140 pound. Cold press paper is going to be best for holding really good amounts of water, giving a really nice cool texture. And then your hot press is if you want a very smooth surface. So you can choose and experiment. It's fun to do it. Then you're going to want to use a round brush for your watercolor. It's a pretty all around brush that's going to save you lots of fiddling around. I also recommend 2 containers of water. One container is going to be for cleaning your brush, and then the other is going to make sure that you actually have clean water so that your colors don't become too muddy or polluted. Then I recommend a simple palette. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. This one is a Cotman Winsor Newton palette. It's about 20 or so bucks. Has everything you need, nothing you don't. And that's it. You don't need expensive supplies. You can get expensive supplies and have fun and play around if that's your thing. If not, you can create just as good illustrations with inexpensive supplies. So the goal isn't fancy equipment, it's understanding how water behaves. All right, so let's look at the first step. Let's start with the lightest wash. Now, notice how much water I'm using. I'm not flooding the page. I'm simply tinting the paper. The first layer should almost feel too light. That's exactly what you want. Remember, you want to build with layers. Beginners almost always go too dark too quickly, but instead, let the paper do the work for you. Leave plenty of white, these are going to be your highlights, and let white paper become your brightest highlights. Step 2: once your first layer dries, now you can begin building form. Remember, your ink drawings, you did all of the foundation, you put in the work. Now you're just going to complement, you're going to bring your ink drawing to life. So notice that I'm not painting every tiny shape. I'm painting the large shadow masses. Remember, all those videos we've done on basic forms, the same light logic applies here. You got your sphere, your cube, your cylinder, nothing changes. We're simply replacing some of the hatch marks with transparent washes. That means your drawings stay clean while gaining much richer value. All right, so let's look at the next step. Now let's combine both. Some shadows, they do need crisp hatch marks. That's why I've made them, because I want them to be more darker. I want them to be more apparent. Others are softer. Watercolor excels at soft transitions. Ink excels at sharp detail. And when you use both together, they make each other stronger. So remember that. One thing I've learned over the years is that fear really does keep a lot of us artists from growing. I know that feeling because I've looked at finished drawings and worried that one brushstroke might ruin everything. But remember, every new skill starts with that first step. And I'm reminded that God created each of us with intention and with purpose. And we got to go forth with every single drawing and painting the same way. Have an intention when you're painting. What is your purpose for this one? What are you trying to learn? What are you trying to convey? When you keep that in the back of your mind, everything starts working and coming together. Every sketch and every painting is another opportunity to grow in the abilities that He's entrusted us with. So don't be afraid to experiment. Remember, keep learning, stay curious, and enjoy the process. And if you've enjoyed today's session, next week we're going to make these ink drawings look even more three-dimensional using just one simple watercolor wash. You're going to be amazed at how much depth you can create without adding complicated techniques. If this video helped you, I'd really appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed so you don't miss any of the next videos or the lessons that are going to bring your ink drawings to life. Until next time, keep drawing, keep creating, never stop developing the gifts that God gave you. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.